I'm sure this is Roland's favorite song, eh?
Yeah, at the
one
time.
of them. At that time. Yeah, this was like one of the very popular ones then.
EL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he fizzled out, but I think it's something that we're not able to do as a country. We're not able to keep our artists in the limelight. And I think that perhaps we need to do better. Because even...
Are we the ones who have to do it, or they have to remain in the limelight?
Well, maybe their management team. So, or maybe we need to have a certain structure that deliberately does that. Because, for example, Tubaba, still very relevant. When I was just watching a music video of him, and then Sina. So a couple of people from Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know. So they tried to do that. P Square. You know, they're still relevant.
But remember that there's also been a lot of controversy surrounding these people that you're mentioning, and that probably has kept them in the news for a longer period.
Game. They should learn from Shatawale. Yeah, I think.
But not everybody can be a Shatawale or a Two-Face or a P-Square. Do you get it? Some people want to build a brand devoid of controversy, devoid of negative publicity. Yeah. You know, I think that is the craft that, you know, maintains and retains your relevance in the industry, and not necessarily the controversy.
But Cobra Conroy has still been relevant.
Yeah, but he's also had some controversy along the way.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
But Samini hasn't, really.
Samini has. I mean, politically, we all know.
Because of Nanado
exactly. And then
all that.
Once in a while, there's this issue with either Sarkodie or Stonebwoy.
Yeah.
You get it? So
you come insult more.
But I think for Samini, what has also maintained his relevance is the fact that when it comes to stage performances, he does it. So even when he hasn't released any song and there's an event and he has to go and perform, he kills it, and everybody starts talking about him again and comparing him to everybody else who cannot necessarily reach his standard of stage performance, and that keeps him in. And of course, I think he's released a couple of songs, you know, in the interim, so that's probably kept him there somewhere. I know there's a conversation about Nigerian artists, because just yesterday it was announced officially by the NBA team that Burna Boy is going to be performing at their halftime event, and not just Burna Boy, I think Thames is also going to be there, and one other Nigerian artist. And I saw a couple of messages from Ghanaians who were asking, Rima is also performing. And Ghanaians started asking, what about Stonebwoy? How come there's no Ghanaian? What's happening? What are we not getting right? Because the NBA is big. It's just like Super Bowl and having Rihanna perform. Now we have Nigerians who are performing at the NBA as well. What are we not doing to get to that level too?
I think the narrative around the Nigerians is quite peculiar. One, they have the market, that's the population. Yeah. So if you see a typical Nigerian's house, it's like one of those, what do they call them? Those apartments in East Legon. Yeah. You know, condominiums or some of those. So they have the numbers. And if you look at the rate at which they migrate, if you look at the statistic from the Department of Labor in the United States, or I think a year or two ago when I read the latest, the Nigerian migrant population is the most college educated.
Okay.
Of all Africans in America.
Okay.
So they are, I don't know whether it maybe is socio-culturally because they are daring. So they, when they are migrating, they migrate. Yeah. When they are living in a country, they live in their country. They of course, they maintain their culture, everything, but they come in. You
feel their presence, yeah.
So I think it's something that we have to relate to, in such a way that we have to better collaborate. Because right now, when they are talking about Afropop being what Afropop is, it's the Nigerian artists who have made the African music scene get to the international stage. Yeah. And we don't have to think that that is a bad thing. It is not.
Oh, it's not a bad thing at all.
There's always this narrative that back in the 60s and 70s, etc., we used to have our own Kofi Sami and Pedu go there and all that. But I think the Nigerians are doing something great. They are. They tend to do things better with a certain drive, and I don't know whether it's coming socio-culturally or it's just innate or something like that, but they seem
I think it's just innate. And I always say this, and not to even put any Ghanaian artists in disrepute or anything, but when you listen to Nigerian music, we have equally good music, but there's just something about, you can listen to 20, 30 Nigerian songs, and continuously. Each one is like really good. Like at a particular really event. Good. Exactly, really, really good. And then you question the songs that we're putting out here in Ghana, and you're asking, can we play the same number of songs and still be amazed by the quality that we're getting? I'm not sure.
Bella,
I'm not sure.
I was just having this conversation with my designer yesterday, and I went there to have my stuff trimmed.
Yeah.
And she was just playing, and then we got to Blacko song with Sarkodie, and then she skipped it.
Oh.
So I said, why did you skip it? And she said, then, you know, they speak their Igbo, Yoruba.
Yeah.
And I said, if it was a Wiyala or a nothing language song or another song or something, you didn't listen to it. He said, but the way they sing it, they add a piano beat and that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's something about it.
So it's about how they do the craft. I think that the business side of the craft is better than
what we do here.
Than we do here.
Yeah.
Because our music has grown stale. You know, we need to keep the high life, but we need to make it more Afro and very worldly.
Yeah.
And you went to California, so so at least you experienced the different type of people and what they wanted, etc. Yeah, we have Rocky Dawuni, but we can do better.
Yeah, we can.
We can do better because we have the language. We are African. We speak language. We have the beats. We have the rhythms. So what can we do
about our Ghanaian artists? At most they'll say, oh, I know Sak, I know Stone Boy. Do you know this person? They're like, no, I haven't heard it. And you're wondering what is going on.
It has to be the way we put together the rhythms. So perhaps maybe we need to have some good producer because when you go out there like where you were, it's the producers who put together the music. So if you have, let's say, Kwame Eugene, who started off, and the way Black Otu has started off nice, and it's rhyming with people. He needs to then have different people produce music for him. So that the music and the lyrics are not the same.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you listen to our artists, and we don't have to mention their names because respectfully. But sometimes they sounded like the last music they
put out. You know, that's true.
So it makes them a bit different. It makes them a bit different.
But please don't skip Blacko's song again. I mean, Charlie.
Oh no, but it's good. You know, Blacko made he made Sarkodie's song and the album what it has to be.
It's true.
But Sarkodie too has to be commended for making sure that he collaborated with a younger person.
Anyway, so, well, you can also join in the conversation. Hashtag is TV3Newday. When we get back, or in fact, we're going straight into Johnny's Bites at this point. And when we get back, the big issue. Let's go.